Good evening and happy Halloween, everyone. I hope you're all having a wonderful time. Probably out getting some candy with your friends, or maybe staying at home and watching some scary movies. Either way, I hope you're all having an especially spooky Halloween. Now I have something a little different in store for y'all tonight. I'm going to be reading a scary story that my sister wrote years ago. It's one of my favorite of her short stories that she's written thus far, and I figured what better time to read it than on Halloween night. So, that being said, I invite you all to sit back, relax, grab some candy, and prepare for the scare. Amalia screamed in terror as the black demon leered at her, staring into her soul, taking her life through her frozen fear. Jema watched her friend from behind a tombstone some distance away from the fortress, eyes popping out in fear. A petrified heart rate running in her chest, she listened as Amalia's screams decreased in frequency and volume. She watched as her eyes sunk into her head and her pupils contracted as her life slipped away. What am I to do? Jema's mind raced frantically. Her ears were pierced by the memory of her friend's past blood-curdling screams once more. Helplessly, and with her heart shattering in her chest, she watched as Amalia collapsed limply to the ground, lifeless, vacated. Her eyes jumped to the black, unholy demon. The realization crept to her mind that it would now come for her. It would not stop hunting for human souls. Her mind kicked into high-speed gear. Her eyes searched for the gate that led out of the possessed, demented property. She located it at the other end of the cemetery, just across the way from the demented being that had just killed her friend. If I'm fast enough, I can make it. The demon was already searching for her. It screeched with abrupt hunger. Jema had to cover her ears. It was more earth-shattering than Amalia's screams. Oh, Amalia, Jema thought sadly. Then she squared herself up, breathing deeply and focusing. She jumped out from behind the tombstone and crashed into the human life vacuum. James screamed at the sudden sight of the horror. It screamed in hunger at seeing yet another feast. She wheeled around the tombstone and headed for the fortress. Bursting through the stone door, she pulled herself into the house. Flinging the rock entrance shut, she shut herself off from the Hell Angel. It screeched outside in hunger. Jema looked around frantically for a window or a door to escape. At the far end of the large room, she spotted a doorknob protruding from a pile of stone and rubble. She ran to it. Knocking and dusting away the stones and dirt, she discovered a small door that seemed to lead out to the cemetery. Gripping the knob, she cracked it open. Peeking out, she saw no sign of the demon. She pulled again, and the door burst wide open. Carefully, she stepped outside and located the gate. Spotting it, she searched for the demon. It was nowhere to be seen. A twinge of fear twisted in her gut. Overcoming it, she ran for the gate. Reaching it, she grasped the clasp of the latch. Pulling at it with all her might, it didn't budge. The terror overtook her. She pulled and pulled at the latch, which refused her command. Her heart was racing. Jema nearly died of horror. Her head whipped around, eyes meeting the demented being. It raced towards her, floating in an aura of evil. Involuntarily she screamed, but her vented fear only drove the terror source on. She yanked and heaved at the latch. Suddenly the demon was upon her. Her fear-aching arms yanked one last time. The latch released. The gate fell open. And Jema fell to the ground. Her arm landed just outside the gate, and the demon screeched as it devoured in pleasure and satisfaction.